a lot, us Aussies, even on our computers. 1 in 3 of us has joined Facebook, the social networking site that now connects 500 million people worldwide. Facebook's super nerd CEO, Mark-Zuckerberg, has created one of the most dominant forces on the internet. But this 26-year-old isn't finished yet. Not by a long shot. And in this rare interview with Leslie Stahl from American 60 Minutes, he reveals what's next in his plan for worldwide web domination.
When you first thought about this, 19 years old, is this what you had in mind? Did you see this far into the future, or is it way beyond what you dreamed?
Well, it's funny. I mean, when I was getting started, with my roommates in college, I do remember having these specific conversations with my friends where we thought, someone is going to build this. Someone is going to build something that makes it so that people can stay connected with their friends and their family, but no way would we be the ones who were contributing to kind of leading the whole internet in this direction.
But that's what he's doing, leading the whole internet in his direction. In a nondescript T-shirt, at a nondescript desk, Mark Zuckerberg runs a vast global empire with the world's largest population after China and India. I first met him 3 years ago at Facebook's old graffitied building in downtown Palo Alto. The company has since decamped to giant hangars nearby to accommodate their explosive growth. As we walked through, we got a sense of high-level competition, whether it's writing code into the night or taking breaks to play speed chess. It's a constant game of one-upsmanship.
They confused me. All of the Facebook engineers get together and stay up all night building things. And we just have this culture.
And you too.
I do too. I code too, just alongside everyone. And
as he spoke, I remembered his awkwardness from 3 years ago and how he rarely blinks. But he's far more relaxed now, easier to smile, and noticeably more confident as he tells you about all the new products they keep launching.
Photos originally weren't that big of a part of the idea for Facebook, but we just found that people really liked them, so we built out this functionality.
But whenever Facebook introduces something new, there are always questions about how it protects our personal data.
There's a sense that you, after all this time, aren't always above board, and that there's some hidden motive to kind of invade our privacy, take the information, and use it to make money.
We never sell your information. Advertisers who are using the site never get access to your information.
But earlier this year, the company introduced a new button where users can tell Facebook what they like in over 100,000 sites, whether it's a new pair of jeans or a 60-minute story. And if Facebook itself doesn't sell the information to advertisers, applications or apps that run on Facebook by outside companies have been known to.
It's against all of our policies for an application to ever share information with advertisers.
They do?
And then we shut them down if they do.
Am I a fuddy-duddy?
Yes.
Am I a fuddy-duddy by asking all these privacy questions?
No. That is, I think, Mark's one weakness, and I think that was why he got so nervous in the interview we did.
Kara Swisher is the editor of All Things Digital, a website about high tech in Silicon Valley.
Okay, you want to take off the hoodie?
She's referring to this conference in June where she grilled Mark on privacy in an interview she calls a sweatapalooza.
So he had like flop sweat, and it was really quite disturbing, actually, to watch.
She was pushing him to admit that Facebook is misleading about its privacy policies, an issue that comes up time and time again.
It's a really important thing for everyone to just be thinking about. I mean, privacy and making sure that people have control over their information is, I think, one of the most fundamental things on the internet.
It's become even more important as Facebook introduces one new product after the next.
These are all just like engineering teams. These guys work on the platform.
28-year-old Chris Cox is head of product development. He sits across the desk from Mark and thinks about what next for Facebook.
This is how close we sit.
And increasingly, he's thinking outside your desktop.
How many people actually access Facebook through their mobile devices?
I think the latest number is over 200 million.
So in other words, that's obviously the future.
I think it's a huge part of the future.
Is Facebook developing a phone device like Apple did iPhone?
No, we're working on building software that can be used on all phones.
Their latest product is Messages, which combines email, cell phone texting, and instant messages into one. They call it the ultimate switchboard.
Was this directed at Gmail?
No.
Google's email?
No.
Because everybody's talking about a Gmail killer.
It's certainly what everyone's writing about.
Google.
Yes.
Facebook and Google.
Yes.
Are they on a collision course?
They are indeed.
This year, people spent more time on Facebook than on Google.
So you're out here in Silicon Valley. Can you feel the tectonic plates shifting over?
You can see the talent shift over. You can see there's been a big war about talent and payments, millions of dollars to keep people, engineers at Google.
Mark's number 2, Sheryl Sandberg, defected from Google. He recently wooed over the inventor of Google Maps, and he even poached Google's cafeteria chef.
Is the goal for you to conquer the whole internet, to own the internet?
Well, think about it like this. People, if they can use a product of any category, photos, groups, music, TV, anything, either by themselves or with their friends, I think most of the time people want to do those things with their friends.
So is the answer yes?
I think I mean, the answer is that we want to help other people build a lot of these products. 500
million people give you their personal information. Do you feel that because of that, they have a right to know a lot about you personally, about your values?
Yeah, I think that because of that, we have to do a very good job of communicating as a company, really.
No, you. I'm talking about you, Mark Zuckerberg. Is it important to know who's running Facebook in light of that?
It is.
It was called The Facebook then.
Interest in what makes Mark tick has heightened since the release of the movie The Social Network that depicts him as a callous genius who betrays friends and principals to protect his creation, Facebook.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
The real Mark vowed he would never see the film. On opening day, he changed his mind.
We took the whole company to go see the movie.
The whole company.
I actually thought it was pretty fun.
But my question is, was it hard to watch for you?
You know, in watching it, it's pretty interesting to see what parts they got right and what parts they got wrong. I think that they got every single T-shirt that they had the Mark Zuckerberg character wearing right. I think I actually own those T-shirts.
Come on.
And they got the sandals right and all that. But, I mean, there were hugely basic things that they got wrong, too. I mean, they made it seem like my whole motivation for building Facebook was so I could get girls, right? And they completely left out the fact that my girlfriend I've been dating since before I started Facebook.
I think we should just be friends. I don't want friends. I was just being polite. I have no intention of being friends with you.
I just think people were pretty surprised and even amazed that, like, wow, Facebook is an interesting enough thing to make a movie out of, or this Mark Zuckerberg person, I'd never heard of him, like, this must be interesting. And I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten from people who use Facebook writing in to say, this movie was really inspiring to me. After seeing this movie, I want to start a company, or I want to go into computer science, or I want to study math. And if the movie had that effect on people, then awesome, right? I mean, that's great.
You almost sound enthusiastic about this movie.
That part.
That part. Got it. That part.
We would need you to build the site, write the code, and we'll provide all the money.
I'm in.
One part he doesn't like has to do with the Winklevoss twins, Tyler and Cameron.
Excuse us for inviting you in.
In real life, they're Olympic rowers who claim that when they were at Harvard, they had the idea of a university-based social networking site first. That in 2003, Mark agreed to work on their project. But instead, they say, he ripped them off.
We agreed to work on this project. He sabotaged our project, and he betrayed us.
So how did you actually find out that he was working on a different project?
We found out by reading the Harvard student newspaper.
So that's the first you realized?
Yep.
What did the article say?
It said to the effect, Mark Zuckerberg launches the Facebook.com. It described a bit about it. We turned to each other and we said, isn't that the Mark Zuckerberg that's working with us on the same project?
So they sued, and in 2008 the case was settled out of court for a reported $65 million. But the twins have since appealed, arguing that Facebook misled them about the value of the stock in the settlement.
Why are you pounding away at this when you're making so much money?
This is all about principle.
Well, I have to be honest with you, it doesn't look that way. It looks like it's all about money.
He premeditatedly sandbagged us because he knew getting there first was everything.
Recently leaked instant messages, reportedly from Mark's old computer, suggest he did deliberately delay the twins' project.
Okay, big question. You guys on Facebook?
Yes.
Get out of here.
I invented Facebook.
I'm talking about a jury.
This is another thing that I think the movie really missed is, I mean, they make it seem like this whole lawsuit is such a huge part of Facebook's history.
Pay them. In the scheme of things, it's a speeding ticket.
I've probably spent less than 2 weeks of my time worried about this lawsuit at all, right?
Maybe you should have worried about it a little more.
Maybe I should have early on, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is this has never been a big deal to Facebook or its evolution.
Do you feel any remorse at all about the twins or anything that happened with them?
I mean, after all this time, I feel bad that they still feel bad about it.
Kara Swisher says she doesn't feel sorry for the twins.
I'm sorry, they got paid $65 million for one medium idea that they never could have made into anything.
Well, you sound very sympathetic to Mark as an individual, to me.
In this case, yes, because he is the entrepreneur. I mean, I think he definitely tried to screw with the Winklevoss. That's clear. He promised to do a service for them he didn't do.
You are famous for coining the term toddler CEO about Mark Zuckerberg.
I did.
That was 3 years ago,
Yes.
and you told us that you thought he was inexperienced and
Yes.
way too young to run this company.
Yes.
3 years later...
He's done a great job. He's a prodigy. The toddler's a prodigy, as it turns out.
How would you grade yourself as a CEO, as the leader of this business?
I mean, that is a hard question.
That's a hard question.
Now, we've made a huge number of mistakes along the way. Right now, I always say, I just think we've made probably every possible mistake you could make.
Is there a decision that you've made that the people around you told you was a mistake, and you defied them, and you were right?
In 2006,
right.
we had this opportunity to sell the company to Yahoo for $1 billion, and we turned that down. I think a lot of people at the time thought that we should sell the company.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I felt really strongly, and I think, like, now people generally think that was a good decision.
Since that decision, the company has grown considerably. Today, valued between $35 and $50 billion.
You're 26 years old.
No.
You feel old?
Yeah.
Yeah. Running this giant company. Your personal worth is said to be $6.9 billion. Do you ever just pinch yourself? Do you ever just say, wow, this happened to me?
I mean, it is pretty crazy,